Welcome back to Superstar Glam. As you can see, this look is total leopard glam look. This is definitely an easy look to recreate, and especially if you are on a budget. I picked up my costume from the Dollar Tree, and it comes in a three-piece with the tail, the little bow tie. I don't know why a bow tie, but it has a bow tie, and the little ears. So if you're interested to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. So I'm starting off with my base, applying the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. I like this foundation because it does have very good coverage, and that's what I want, as much coverage as I can get, yet still being lightweight. I'm using a Real Techniques sponge to apply it. Now I'm referencing this picture of a leopard, and then I'm taking the Makeup Forever Flash, I think it's called Flash Color Flash Card, but whatever it is. I'm taking the white and I'm applying this to the bottom portion of the mouth. On the picture that I got from the leopard, all the kind of like the bottom and the mouth portion have a lot of white, so I wanted to apply white in those areas. And then I'm taking that sponge again and then just blending that out. The colors I'm using are cream based, so they have a lot of like oils and emollients, so I do they get too slippery if I leave them too thick. Now I'm taking the brown shade and I'm just going to use this to contour as usual. I have to still cover up that double chin, so yeah, I'm just taking that brown shade and applying it everywhere I contour, and then also I'm bringing it to the nose area just for shading, and then I'm also bringing it to the forehead in like a V section because it does have a lot of like shading with the gradient colors that the leopard has. So then you'll notice that I was using that same sponge with the white base, so it kind of erased it, but I do go back and fix that and darken it a little bit more. Now I'm doing the same thing, and then using that same color from the palette, the brown shade, and pretty much what I'm doing is I am mapping out all the areas that I'm going to later darken up, but this gives me a good idea to sketch it out basically, and if it doesn't look good, then I could always blend it out. So it's a much more forgiving color. See, now I'm using a different, like I think this is an Equal Tools sponge, and so now it's blending out the way I wanted it to, and not disappearing. So I'm going to use this and blend out the rest of that color that I applied. See, I applied more there, and then I'm just blending it out. Now I'm taking the MAC Prep and Prime Light Boost, and I didn't apply concealer because I brought the foundation all the way to the under eyes. So I'm just using this for added highlight, and then I am setting everything with a translucent powder, and I'm just doing a light layer of this. Now I'm priming my eyes as per usual. All the details on the products will be down in the description box. And I'm also just using that same powder brush and lightly dusting to set that primer. Now I'm taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye, and I can't pronounce most of these names, so I will just tell you what I'm applying. So I'm just applying this light brown to the crease area. With this angle brush, what I'm doing is I'm bringing a little bit of black, like I didn't put too much, and I am doing kind of like stamping motions, and at the same time I'm kind of dragging it, and this is going to help intensify that crease area, because that is going to be my like a cut crease without me having to go back with a concealer. Now using a a crease brush, I am just bringing like a more of a reddish tone and buffing out that crease area. I wanted to intensify it. I am bringing it down to the sides of my nose, part of like the shading that I do, and taking that same brush that I used initially for the crease color, I am buffing the entire crease area to prevent any harsh lines. Now this kind of worked out for me, so I didn't have to go with a concealer, but you are welcome to do it if you do get a little messy onto the lid. You can always clean it up that way. I was able to just use the lightest shade from the palette, like it's kind of like an off-white shade, and I was able to apply this all over my lid, and it worked out without me having to apply any additional product. So I'm applying this all over the lid, cleaning up the lid and making sure that the cut crease is still defined. Now I'm taking the BH gel liner in the shade Onyx, and I'm going to wing out my liner. And I'm definitely going to want this wing liner to be really extended and cat-like, so I'm going to drag it out, and then I'm also going to bring it into the inner corner, extending the inner corner, kind of drawing like a triangle. That's definitely gonna give me more of like a feline look. I'm also bringing that same gel liner to the outer portion of the lower eye, but I'm just leaving it down on the outer part. I'm taking this Kat Von D liquid liner in white, and I am just using this to highlight the inner portion of the eye. So I am starting down in the black like corner of the inner corner and just adding it to the bottom. I'm taking this Colourpop white eyeliner in the shade Exit, and I'm just applying this to the waterline. I really like how this turned out. It adds a little emphasis to the look, the cat eye I was looking for. Now I'm going back to that angle brush and just intensifying the outer corner just a tad bit. I'm just defining the cut crease a little bit more, and then taking that same color orange brown shade, and I'm just going to buff that out, and then with the fluffy brush make sure that there are no harsh lines. Just a lot of blending of all the colors. Once you apply one color, you gotta blend it all out. Make sure there are no harsh lines. Now I'm taking this palette from Morphe, and it's a contour palette, and I'm taking those two deeper shades to basically apply everywhere that I applied the cream to contour and shade. That same area that I applied on my forehead, and then down the sides of my nose and on the chin area. I'm taking it's a matte white shade, and now I'm going over all these areas that I had previously applied the white cream, and I'm just applying that all over that same area. Everywhere where I highlighted pretty much and applied the lighter shade is where I'm applying this powder. Now I'm taking that same gel liner from BH, that black gel liner. I am using this to start going over the nose area, and this is pretty much the color I'm going to use for all the detailing that I'm going to do. So I'm working on the nose, and then I'm dragging it down, and then working on the lip area. The Leopard just has thin little lines. If I could do this over again, I would probably apply liquid lip at the bottom, because at the end my lips look a little dry. I was just afraid of making it too dark, but it would have looked better. So I'm just extending it from the corners of my mouth. I'm using very little product as well. Now using the edge of that liner, I'm just adding rows, like 3 rows of where the leopard has like whiskers, so I'm applying that to the upper lip portion. And then just with the same Kat Von D palette, I took like a neutral brown, and that I'm using that shadow to kind of buff out the edges of everywhere I put um the black gel liner. And what this kind of did is it kind of gives it like a shading effect, so it makes it a little more realistic in my opinion. So anywhere I applied the gel liner, I go back with that brown shade and buff it out. I'm going over the same dots and applying and just dotting the shadow over that. Taking the gel liner, and I'm starting off kind of like a V shape in the middle of the forehead. I am just dotting dots, like there's really no design. After that, I start working on kind of like the C shapes of the leopard print, and you'll also see me switch from different tools because I wasn't sure which tool to use. So as the pattern starts getting bigger, I switched up to this brush, and it was too thick for the detail that I was wanting, so then I switched it up and I finally got the tool that I should have been using all along. And it's from the Real Techniques. It's an eyeliner, but it's too thick for me to actually use as an eyeliner, so this worked out perfect to work on that detail print. You want those C prints to kind of go in the different directions. A reference back to the picture, I noticed that the print kind of has like dots surrounding it, so it's not really like a complete full C. It's like, you'll see how I do it. I apply like in dashes, pretty much going in different directions. So once I start getting closer to the like mouth area, I start making the pattern smaller, and then I'll just add more like dots and then kind of connect it to like the whisker part. That's kind of, it's like a gradient effect. Is kind of how I made it look. And then it's just a matter of looking and seeing how you like it, add any additional specks where you feel is a little empty. My baby hairs were kind of in the way, so that's why I avoided that area. But after the finished look, I wish I would have gone a little closer to my hairline. Now I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter in the shade Trophy Wife, and this was honestly like the perfect touch for this look. I don't think that on camera it does it justice, and I did wet my brush, so I wanted to be definitely a lot more intensified, but every single eye pattern I went in with that, even if it was just the dots, I went over with the highlight, and honestly this made this look that much better. Now I'm taking the Maybelline Big Shot mascara and just lightly coating my lashes, because I am going to go in with false lashes for the even more dramatic look. These are the Ardell Double Wispies, which are my favorite. I have so many pairs, so I keep using and reusing them. And so at this point, any look that you see me with false lashes, they are the Double Wispies. And if anybody cares to know, I'm getting much better at applying false lashes. So now I'm taking the same highlighter and I'm just highlighting as usual down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my mouth area, on that forehead. Now I'm just applying my headband. And I also bring this highlighter into the inner corner because why not? So this is it, the complete look on this leopard Halloween tutorial. I really love how it came out. that was definitely a good use for the trophy wife highlighter. I think that makes all this pop. It just, I'm like in love with this look. I really hope that you enjoyed this Halloween look. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you next time. Bye.